Dabbed in Ink presents.
Warning. The Hear It in Horror podcast is a review podcast that is full of spoilers of the first few episodes of the shows that we discuss. If you do not like spoilers, please pause and go listen to the show. We announce ahead of time what show is discussed in the next episode, or you can check it out in the show notes. We'll be here when you're done.
Hello, everyone. I'm Morgan Velko. Welcome to another episode of the Hear It in Horror podcast, where our mission is to listen to those lesser-known horror audio drama podcasts and give you our thoughts. Thanks for joining us today. We have Alante, Clay, Izzy, and Jessica all back with me to take a look at this week's podcast and review. We will discuss our thoughts overall and then get into the breakdown. So let's get started. What we heard in horror this week is episodes 1, 2, and 3 of The Vessel. The Vessel is a space horror series that was launched in January 2019 by Brian Martinez of Bloodstream City. Written in third-person narration, episode 1 opens with a man waking up in a strange place, an assumed passenger on a spaceship. Though you don't read what the premise was, or if you don't read what the premise was or listen to the trailer, you wouldn't know that from the description in episode 1. The man doesn't remember a thing about himself, but based on what the doctor says as she's examining him, he's been out for a while. Episode 2, we transition to another character, Gunnar, a fabricator on the ship, who gives the first glimpse that we are indeed on a space vessel. And we get the first hints of foreshadowing via dead cockroaches that something is amiss on the ship. Episode 3 sends us back to the waking passenger as he tries to find a way out, questioning where he is and the intentions of the doctor and the rest of the crew. The Vessel is still running, currently in season 3 with 30 episodes. Let's see what the team thinks. And we're going to start with another random fact. Which one of you can turn any room into a panic room if you give them a second? Well, I guess it's not Alante.
Can I guess? Because I feel like it's Izzy.
Wow, you're always guessing me.
I mean, I feel it's not mine, but it could be me.
Really?
It's not me.
Wait.
I mean,
is it really?
It's technically true, I'm pretty sure, but like, it's not me. That's not mine.
Yeah, process of elimination. It's definitely me. If you want to have fun, when you're the first to show up and everyone's showing up, or you're the last person to show up in a group, just look around and say, before we begin today's improv trust exercise, I want to thank you all for being here. And the panic, you can feel it start to radiate off people because the confusion happens first. I signed up for what? But the animal mind, the unconscious goes, trust improv? And people start looking for the doors. It's great.
That would be me looking for the door. See, I was thinking like, oh, you turn it into a panic room because you're the panicked one. I'm the panicked one in this situation. If you're like, hey, do you want to do improv? I'm throwing up on you.
Oh my God. See, I went to I got a hammer and some nails and I can just, zombie proof this place. That's why I'm like,
oh, you mean like build an actual panic?
I mean, exactly I could do that. Yeah. I could do that side of things. I don't know if I'd be quite as adept at making everybody in the space panic that quickly.
Wildly different interpretations all around.
Oh my God, I read that question wrong. Wrong.
No, that was the intent behind it, though, because no one was going to be able to read that the way I would designed it. So yeah, no, it was the intent.
Oh yeah.
Well played.
I mean, I'm not even in that room, and I'm terrified. So.
Yeah, and now you all have a wonderful tool in your arsenal to mess with people. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Aw.
Well, Clay, nice. What did you think of The Vessel?
First I want to say, so this was my choice for this episode. So apologies all around, or you're welcomes. I don't know, depending on how the reviews are going to come through. I obviously enjoyed it, so I recommend it. There was one thing I love about this specifically, and it's such a rarity, and it's that ultra slow burn. We're so used to either anthology horrors giving us like quick face pass in a hurry, even serialized horror. Like in that first episode or two, you need to know what's going on, what direction we're going, everything. 3 episodes in, no real idea, just lots of tone, ambient soundscape, just setting the background for everything. Like nothing's actually happened yet. And of course, where it leads off in the third one is a fantastic line, but you're just like, what the hell is going on? And to me, I absolutely love that. Like, I just need to know more. And then sadly, it's been, what, 6 years, 3 seasons? So definitely doling it out slowly, but, you know.
It's the slowest of slow burns.
It really is. In fact, it may be on the list of the slowest of burns, like absolutely slowest, but I'm enjoying it for that reason.
It had a recent update, though, I think, right? Or they had an announcement that they were updating again recently. So it's still like, it's not like in hiatus or anything.
Yeah, as far as I know, so season 4 has been announced that it is in the works. Even though what's the website? The End, where it's supposed to be where all podcasts are done, it's listed there, but it's still going. And having listened to all the recent episodes, the story's not done. So hopefully it continues.
Okay. Now I'm curious if there was at least some resolution at the end of the seasons.
Things happen, plots expand. I mean,
do they endlessly expand, or do they tie up something so you can be like, all right, now I can focus on this?
oh no, it's a layer cake. Just keep stacking.
Oh, okay. That. Okay.
So, Alante, what about you? You seem to have a lot of emotion about whether or not things are getting tied up.
Nope. I want Jessica to go because I want to know if we're on the same team or not before she totally rips into me again.
Gonna get a pickle no pickle situation again.
So my main thought listening to the episodes, so I listened to the first 3 that we were meant to listen to, and then I noticed the pattern where you have an episode with our unknown man, and then you had another crew member on the ship, and then we go back to unknown man. So I wanted to see if that pattern continued, and as far as I saw up to episode 5, I started the beginning of episode 5, it does. And I liked that. I liked having, like, the dude, and then you get to see little bits from different perspectives. So in that second episode, you get a little bit of, like, the culture on the ship as it stands now. And then in the 4th episode, you get some history to the ship, the boarding of the ship and all that. But I did have something that was kind of glaring to me as a listener, and I don't know if anybody else picked up on it, but
I wonder.
Is it just kind of unnecessarily horny?
Actually, that's what my entire thing is about.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Okay. Oh, hold on. Before we jump in, I love the fact that it was kind of vampy. Like, it hypnotizes you, but also to me, it gave that sense of, like, an otherworldly being. Like, oh, this is curious yet fascinating. So that's how I registered it. Do you just mean the tone or the actual, like, writing and everything?
The actual writing.
We're gonna,
really?
I think
I
we're
went
going to talk
episode by
about this
episode and wrote it
more
all
once my
down.
clip actually comes up, because
Okay.
Okay.
my topic this time around was kind of a question to people who I knew one of you would listen further ahead. So,
Yeah.
Because if you want, I can go episode by episode to give you examples of what I'm talking about.
no,
horniness?
let's hold
horniness.
off on that for now and put a
I
pin in
want
that.
the play
for
by
sure.
play a little bit. I do. But
This
yes,
is opening
I do wanna say, though-
statements. Opening
it's
statements.
opening. Okay.
Opening statement real quick. There is no such thing as unnecessarily horny. Like,
Right.
Here's my thing. I should never be aware that there is an author to something I'm writing or something I'm reading or listening to. If I'm aware that there's an author, I'm thinking. If I think, oh, men writing women, I'm out of the story. You know, it's an immersion-breaking thing for me.
Fair.
Especially since this is third person. Like, we're
Yeah.
supposed to have, like, a subjective view on things. Or not a subjective, an objective view on things. The fact that, like, I'm like, a man wrote this.
Yeah.
It takes me out, you know?
I mean,
she walked in
maybe
Google.
in that case I should
I'm
go
100%
next
with you.
because, like, that's totally where my thing was. What you're talking about is very much in, like, cinema and audio drama, whatnot, referred to as, like, the male gaze, I think, because it's that sort of pairing with, like, very sort of sexualizing wording with what kind of seems like every female character who is under the age of 50 is is kind of where my clip kind of came in. Because I was wondering if that was a thing that continued throughout. Because I know it's like, it might not necessarily come up like once these characters are established, but it does seem to pair with every time that they are established. Otherwise, love the character, like the sort of like little dialogue interactions. I think the sound design was really good on this one. This time I actually followed the prompt and did not watch ahead for like 20 episodes. I was like, let's see how this works out with just watching 3 before I come and do this. So
How much
yeah.
did that hurt you?
It kind of hurts a little bit, and I don't think I'm going to do that again. I think I'm going to...
Okay.
I think in the future when we do this, I'm going to, like, listen ahead, because now I just have more questions.
Okay. All right. So you kind of ruined me a little bit, but I'm glad you did. Because I listened to episode 4, and I walked away being like, oh, yay, some representation. But now I'm seeing it as like, oh, no, that's not what that was at all.
I had the same thought where I was like, oh, this is nice. And then there's one specific sentence that I think you know what I'm talking about, where I was like, that was kind of unnecessary, wasn't it?
Yeah. So in terms of the horniness, I liked his tone, the narrator's tone. Part of my biggest issue, I think, was the fact that there wasn't a female voice, like, which to some degree, as someone who's played D&D, like, I can forgive, or like been on a D&D show where it's like, you're just starting out, you might not find somebody, like, you should grab a friend. It's like the kind of the issue we had with the dog not having a voice in the previous one. It's like, you should have gotten a female voice actor to...
Well,
Be a
I'd say
dog?
that if it was like
No, I'm
every
sorry.
actor. I'd say that if it was like
streams.
there was dialogue for every character. The fact that it's only one narrator doing all the voices, I'm fine with having that narrator do both male and female voices. There's something I actually really liked that he did when he did female voices. He didn't pitch his voice super high, which sometimes I'll listen to like an audiobook or something, and there's a man doing the women's characters' voices, and all the girl characters sound like this, and it's like, that's terrible. So I like that he kept a neutral tone for the female voices.
It's
I
the
think that was a
1950s
very
Snow White
professional
approach.
decision.
Yeah, but I will say, like, it did make me want to keep listening. Like, I really loved the production value of this. I think it just had like that nice blend of like production value, a great VA. Some of the writing was but also some of it was great. Like, I think episode 3 was like really funny, but in bits, but then maybe they veered a little too much in like trying to make things funny. Like the first line of like, I have a clip.
So let's start with Izzy's clip.
She checked a panel of light next to his head. And with the rest of you, don't be alarmed if you feel a little tingling in certain areas. The young guy glanced at the young girl. The girl smiled. Keep it together, you two.
I like how that went over my head when I listened to it. When I'm the first one to be like, and phallic symbol.
It actually goes on a little further, because she's like, it looks
does.
like your whatever is fine. You'll have to let me know if your reproductive systems still work. And I'm like,
that's the bit.
are you a medical professional?
Oh my God, why did that go over my head? Oh my God.
You're too innocent for this world, Alante. You're just too innocent for this world.
I don't understand.
Nurse Chesty was just lost on you.
Yeah, the only character in that scene who gets a physical description is that woman.
Exactly.
Really?
And it continues.
Well, it does mention the man the man in question or unknown man is naked.
Well, I mean, it's like he's
barely covering his genitals.
There we go. That's what it was. That I pay attention to.
That part you're like, okay.
So,
like, all right.
The cis male gaze just goes a little bit over your head. Just a little. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of like, that was one of the things that like leapt out to me sort of right away, because it's like episode 2, you also get like another situation where it's like, there's this coworker who there's a lot of banter with. She doesn't seem particularly into him specifically, but there's also kind of like, when being described, mentioned as curvy, and then later on, it's like he
Specifically.
wonders what's going on underneath her clothes. And it's
and these
a
are
little-
handwritten notes.
Oh, yeah.
Slightly short but very curvy woman stood watching him, and then later it says, what do we have here? It was
Okay.
like she put her hands on her wide hips.
Wide hips, and then it was
Wide
like
hips,
he was
short and curvy. We
interested in
don't
what
know
was going on underneath her clothes, and it was like that. It came up enough that like you said, it really kind of put you in mind of like that this is not necessarily a character thing because it's between two different characters reacting in a very similar way. This is a eye of the author thing where it's like, is that going to continually be a thing was really kind of one of my questions, because it's like, it's one of those things. It's not the most egregious thing, but it is noticeable as like kind of shaking you out of the experience a little, if that's going to happen every time a female character pops up, except the lady who was mentioned as being over 50. She got no physical descriptions
sad.
whatsoever.
She had
Aw,
feminine
man.
footsteps.
Feminine
and gray
footsteps.
hair.
That was about it. Yeah. So it's
Can
kind
Was
she
she
of
have
not
something
supposed
else,
to
too?
have feminine footsteps? Like what?
Well, as you know, women walk femininely.
yep.
The best
You
part
have
though,
very
it's the
distinct
feet
foot
and the
folds.
hair and everything in between is just an amorphous
You just
blob.
Yeah, that's what happens when you turn 50. Like it's just feet and hair.
No, don't say. Okay. But real talk time. Like I've literally had that. Like my sister is an actress, and we've had that conversation multiple times where it's like you hit this age and then like you just disappear. What
Yep.
the fuck's up with that? And I was like, so that makes me deeply sad.
Yeah, it's definitely in that kind of disappearing act kind of aspect. Is just a little bit noticeable. But yeah, I think Jessica and I are a little bit on reading off at the same page in this one, because I think we made possibly the exact same notes.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
just,
right.
I mean, you want me to give you the descriptions of the male characters? Because I wrote all of them down.
Please
Yes.
do.
Please
Yes,
do.
Let's do
yeah.
this.
This is for the male characters. Gooner.
First
has a
off,
smug
why
grin.
that name?
Let's just
Let's
sit
just
with Gooner for
skip
just like
over
a
that
second.
name. Just really,
Second.
just like we're not gonna.
Nope.
Anyway,
Okay.
he has a smug grin. That's all we know about what he looks like. Siam, I think that was his name. I wrote down like a phonetic spelling. He has dark eyes. He is also the gambling con man character, and he has a foreign accent. And I was like, that doesn't
Hold on,
feel
that's
good.
not
Yep.
kosher at
Yep.
all. That's
That
not
does
okay.
not feel good. I don't know why they have accents either, since they've all been
Yeah,
on this ship for
it
like
was
their
kind of
entire
like-
lifetime.
A difficult to place Eastern
fair.
accent that I think drifted a little bit somewhere.
Yeah, I was like, that feels
Odd.
kind of icky. And then we had Seth,
racist.
who was the mechanic with a Southern accent, an American Southern accent. Better looking than he was mechanically intuitive, and he wasn't that good looking. So of all the men, we have a dark-eyed con man and an ugly Southern man who's stupid.
Okay.
Yep.
But
So-
I at least found that funny. Like that was entertaining. Like it through this like dark, like cool mystery, like setting the scene. That was a nice break between all the things.
In
for
defense
me.
of that section, though, even though it is third person, it is coming from Gooner's perspective. So from his perspective, he's attracted to this other woman on the ship, so maybe he would notice that she's short and curvy. And he doesn't like Siam, so
And he's just wildly
you know.
disparaging to his, male
Yeah.
colleagues
And
in
then he
general,
just-
which
yeah,
fits
exactly.
with
He's
virtually
like,
every
men are
electrician
ugly.
I have ever known. So,
yeah. So
Really?
in
Especially if
defense
they have
of
a
the
Southern
writing
accent.
there, I'll say that is from that character's perspective. So maybe that's what he's kept catching on to. And then we do get a chapter or a session from a woman's perspective. And then
see, I didn't get that
she's
far.
a lesbian, so she's also sexualizing other women. So
Oh,
it's
there you
like,
go. Oh, at least they're consistent.
Yeah,
That's,
I was like,
that's fun.
that's why I was like, oh, representation. Then I was like, oh no, now that you've... Okay, so now I'm curious from Clay's perspective as our resident attracted to women man. I don't know how to phrase things. Leave me alone.
Or professional
I'm
straight.
the
Yeah.
last in the AD community.
Straight adjacent.
Yes. Okay, did you notice this, and did it enhance the experience for you, or was it like, what was your feeling? What is your feelings on this?
First time listening through, it did stand out, much like y'all. Second time listening to, don't know if it's me changers having heard before, but it was just kind of just washed on by. Just like, oh, I've been here. As far as enhancing, no, not even slightest. Like, everything should have a point to the story, I feel. Chekhov's hips. They happen.
So does it continue, I guess is my question, because I wanted to give the author a fair chance. I was like, okay, we're coming from male perspectives in these chapters, so it would make sense for these men to be having,
Honestly, I wish I could get you an answer on that one, just because of how long it's been that I've been listening to this show. 30 episodes over 6 years. It's not much stuck behind the ears. But I can
Do
tell
any
you,
men get a physical
Do they have hair?
description? Do we know what anybody looks like? Yes, do they have
Has
hair?
hair. Excellent.
later on, there are things that are neither men nor women who get physical descriptions. So like,
Love that.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, for me, it did nothing, but I can definitely see it as like the running joke of, and she walked in boobily, and just like, we're focusing on things that don't matter to the
Boobily.
plot.
Yeah.
Did you say
She boobed in,
boobily?
boobily.
She
Boobily.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, and again, this is something I can forgive if we're getting physical descriptions of every character. Like it's like, because he wakes up, we don't get. So in the first episode, he wakes up, the main doctor lady. He says, "To the notes." She has and voice like an angel. White lab coat, warm smile, constantly unfreezing him out of cryosleep with her warm smile and her warm fingers on his cold skin. She's so warm. This woman radiates.
So warm.
Blue-green eyes, bright and sparkling, clear beneath bright red hair. There are two other people in the room. There is a young man, who's referred to as a guy, and an even younger girl. And I was kind of confused here because she's never referred to as a young woman. She's always referred to as a girl, but I assume she is an adult. She doesn't get a description, so I guess this doctor's she's the only one in that first episode who gets any sort of physical description.
Because girl
I have no
covers
idea what
virtually
this.
anyone under 50, right? Yeah.
She could be at any age. We simply do not know.
We do not know.
So 12.
We know that she thinks dick jokes are funny, but don't we all?
Okay. So now I'm curious, is it a cardinal sin to not have detailed character descriptions when in third person? Because for me, I can forgive that if it's first person, because you're like, there's different, I imagine first person, you kind of have to have different distinct voices. With third person, you kind of just slip into characters.
I feel like if you're going to describe one person, describe everyone in the room, at least a general vibe. Whereas or describe no one. Like one of my favorite books, Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. I do not believe any character gets a physical description. Their personalities are so strong and apparent. Each of their own voices and dialogue is so strong and apparent. You never know what any of them. They're all women. It's a whole team of women. I think the only male character is in a flashback, and there's no physical description of any of the characters, if I'm remembering correctly. And you don't need one because all of their personalities are so strong. So it's like, I don't think physical descriptions are necessary. But if you're going to describe, the people in the room you're looking at, especially if you're describing one person in such detail, especially if these are going to be like recurring characters, because it's like later on, it's like, oh, I saw a woman walk by with bright red hair. You're like, oh, that's the doctor from the first episode. But then if that guy walks by, I just know he's a guy. I just know he's Guy, and that could be anybody.
And I do agree with that, because that is a huge problem too. Despite the fact I don't want to suggest this show because I did like it, but it's not perfect. But yeah, one character getting the Iliad description, and then there's this asshole. There's an imbalance to it.
I mean, if your DM does that at a tabletop session, you're like, okay, this is an NPC who does not matter versus one who is going to be vitally important later.
Oh, spot the anime protagonist syndrome.
Exactly. There's also a lot of this is not really a problem, except that it is sort of all over the place. Particularly if you sort of go back in time, it becomes more and more of a sort of problem throughout literature in a very general sense, because for the longest time, people just didn't really call it out properly as being like, yeah, it's kind of a little weird to approach like all of the women of sort of a very specific age band the exact same way, as though you want to reaffirm that you as an author are a straight guy by doing a very kind of performative, like, and she was hot. So
I feel like it's more of a subconscious thing. Like, I'm not reading anything malicious into that. I'm thinking he has a very clear idea of what this character looks like, and maybe he doesn't have as clear ideas of what the other character looks like. I don't think it's malicious at all.
No.
You know, it's just, for me personally, it's immersion breaking. It was something like, again, I don't ever want to be aware of an author. I don't want to know what the author's type is. I don't want to know what they're into.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know how, like, sometimes you read books and every attractive dude in the book has, like, wavy brown hair and green eyes, and you're like,
yep. Same
homegirl
problem.
is hot for
Same
brunettes.
problem, actually.
Yeah, so it's not just a male author problem either. I'll say that too. There's so many times I'll read something by a female author and I was like, you have a type, and now I know it, and I didn't need to know that about you. Ever.
Yeah, there's definitely like a if just even giving characters a little bit of time before like there is any sort of attraction mentioned, like, you know, over like give it a lead up, like over time, like maybe let that sort of, you know, okay, yeah, no, these characters are like kind of into each other is great, but it's like when it's like immediate all the time, that's I think my kind of like, yeah, the author has a type and feels weird.
So,
real quick, if I can, immediately time I agree with this one instance though. Episode 1, the warm woman, kind of see, because you come out of cryo, you have no memories whatsoever, and the first thing you see is, according to the author, this absolute goddess. You're like, oh, I have now fixated on you. This is everything in my world now.
See, but like from his perspective, like he's not, nothing from the character is like, I think this woman is hot. You know, he's not like, if he mistrusts her immediately. So I guess that's why it's confusing, because like in the following episodes, episode 3, he's like, I have to escape. I'm being held prisoner here, despite nobody giving him any reason to believe that. All the doors are unlocked. She's like, stay right here. We're going to get the doctor in.
Yeah.
You know, you may be confused for a little bit. Just chill. There's some clothes there. You'll be all good. But, you know, so it's like from the character's perspective, even though it's third person, I don't know that he's attracted to this woman. I just know that the author maybe likes redheads.
All right, that's fair.
Your statement is still valid.
I retract my statement.
I definitely learned in this conversation, I listen for like vibes more than I listen to the actual words. That is what I've learned from... No, really. Because I was just like, I like the formatting of like the show. Like it was like this story A and then a completely different story, then this story. Like I really like that. Like it made the world feel big. But I should have been paying attention to actually what was being said.
I think that's valid too, because like moving past the whole male gaze situation, I think we've kind of covered that.
We've played it out.
I think the soundscape of the show is great. I love that it's so subtle, because you have like the light music, you have light ambiance, like it's not in your face or anything like that. I think they did great with the soundscape. I like the actual format too. Well, I have a little bit of issues with the format. I like the going back and forth with the Cryo Man, but I would have liked to have episode 3 be part of episode 1, or maybe be episode 2 to make it longer, because in episode 2, we mentioned that people are coming out of cryosleep. So that way we know that the guy we just met in episode 1 has come out of cryosleep. So when in episode 3, he doesn't know what's going on, we as the audience already do. And so now he's just being annoying. You know, it's like, I'm like, because like now like that mystery is already gone. Whereas before in episode 1, we're like, we don't even know we're on a spaceship. We don't know who any of these people are. I might mistrust them as well. But then episode 2,
increasing his stride to clear the vat of black liquid below, thick bubbles popping on its oily surface, and wiped a bit of sweat from his forehead.
That's on me.
So
I was trying to get it
play that.
prepped,
That's
and
the-
it started
yeah,
playing.
That's a clip I chose.
Okay.
The
Well, tell
gods
us
have
about it.
decided. Well, so
Do we wanna,
we've been talking.
Take that
Yeah,
back,
Do you want to
or like
set up the clip
do
and pause and then go into it?
do we want to like have some sort of bridge, sort of like?
Yeah.
So, Clay, what's your clip about? What did you choose? Now that we've banged our drum a lot.
Well, the thing it seems we can all agree on was good, which was the sound work. It's a lot of small, subtle things in the background, just as like Jessica was talking about. It's not overbearing, and it just adds so much with a very soft touch. And that's one of the reasons I've stuck with the show for so long, because it excels at it in ways that a lot of other ones simply don't. And in this clip we're about to listen to, they use a sound most shows will try to avoid with a passion. So if we can go ahead and play that, please.
Gunnar crossed a catwalk, increasing his stride to clear the vat of black liquid below, thick bubbles popping on its oily surface, and wiped a bit of sweat from his forehead.
And that's just it. It's any slushing water, wet noises tend to be avoided because of massive ick factor. It's just a thing most people don't want to hear, especially, for the best listening experience, headphones are recommended, except for wet sounds. We don't want that. But I think this was done just enough. And then they brought it in and they took it out. It was good.
I
Yeah,
argue
you got
that
the
it
idea.
depends on the wet sound.
Yeah.
Because, like, this, I
bet
actually
you like
recognize
your
where
sound,
it's
Izzy.
from. Like, specifically
Yeah.
these wet sounds.
Izzy.
I know. I'm sorry. Free sound
We've
junkie.
been through this. We've been through this.
Well, I haven't. Fill me in.
But, like, wet sounds are, like, I feel like water is one thing that people are generally pretty good with. But there's a certain wet squishing sound
The
that
schlorps.
one of the ways to get there for sure is either like watermelon or like raw chicken. That sort of like gloopy, squashy sound. People have a visceral reaction to that in the way that like water swooshing around a bathtub like this is not necessarily going to twig. So
There are levels to it, yes, admittedly.
I
And
think
thank
it
you
is a
also
little
for that
safer.
behind-the-scenes chicken knowledge. I have to find out more about this now.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah. Well, we can talk. We can talk about
By all means.
my collection of free sound finds involving chicken bits.
Well, I know for no sleep, there are two big things that we avoid as far as soundscapes go, and that's mouth noises, chewing, eating, like, unless it's like, supposed to be uncomfortable and gross and it's part of like the plot, the narrative and stuff. And the other one is vomiting or gagging. Those are big sounds we typically try to avoid just because it's like, you don't want that right in your ear. That triggers a lot of people's fight reflex, As someone who chews very loudly, as my little sister informs me, anytime we have to go eat together, it drives her insane.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Sorry.
I don't know how to not chew. It's not like I'm chewing with my mouth open. I try to chew as quietly as possible with tiny, tiny little bites, and she will still be like, "Can you stop?" And I'm like, "I have saliva. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry." But yeah, as far as like certain sound, and then everyone has their own triggers for sounds and stuff. Mine is specifically whispering directly into the mic. I will snap my phone in half or rip my headphones off. I go to like from 0 to war crimes in half a second.
Damn.
Whispering directly into the mic or like crinkling like ASMR turns me into someone I'm not proud of.
I want you to all know I respect you all as individuals because the urge to make all these noises as they were described is just
100%.
my inner child. It's what kind of runs the show.
When I say I go from 0 to war crimes, I mean I will turn into a complete and utter bitch.
Yeah, don't.
and I will take it out on you, and I will be very mean. So please don't.
Please don't.
We've just
Please don't.
Clay,
For the safety of our
just met.
listeners.
Don't
We have
trigger the
just
barbarian.
met.
Oh my god, you are the barbarian of the group. It's great. If you wouldn't mind playing my clip, I think it also
one?
shows how great their production and soundscape is. Episode 1, the room was too bright.
Beeping.
The beeping sound before the room was too bright.
Oh, actually,
Always.
do we have time for a stupid sound fact? So
That's yeah.
humans are really good at figuring out like what the viscosity of liquid is via sound. So much that you can actually tell
Which one's more
temperature of
viscous,
liquid.
hot or cold?
Wild.
Oh, it's not viscosity. It's like if you were to pour a hot liquid into a cup versus a cold liquid, like that is a fundamentally different sound that people can distinguish.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So if you have a situation in your audio drama where it's like, they poured a hot cup of tea, make a hot cup of tea and pour it in front of your microphone because it's like, it's subtle, but you can tell.
Did we find your Izzy's corner? I think we found Izzy's corner.
Izzy
the Foley artist.
audio insanity.
Yeah. Yes.
There we go.
Okay, here it is.
The room was too bright. He squinted painfully, barely able to open his eyes. A woman called for the room to be dimmed. A moment later, the light was cut in half.
So what I liked is just that like the subtle background noises, and then there was like a transition to like a different style of music that I thought was really nice, especially in episode 1. And for me, their use, what I was hoping in episode 1 was like a couple more background like noises, like when something was sliding, like a sliding window when they said that, or this or that and the other, that they actually started implementing more as episodes went on, as far as I got. So I thought that was excellent.
I'll agree. I like that there is a soundscape, and it's not overbearing where it's like you hear every twist of clothing every time somebody turns. It's subtle things, enough to like build the ambiance without distracting from the actual narration. So I really enjoyed the soundscape in this one.
Yeah. I find that there's a little bit of a balance to be had when we're talking about sound design for like third versus first person, or kind of like in-world, in-situ situations where it's like you really want to make sure that your design for third person, you go for the standouts. You're not necessarily like you said, adding in fabric rustle. Fabric rustle is a great way to bring up first person stuff because it makes the scene sound real. But third person is more of a constructed format. So I find that like it really hit all of those kind of buttons as far as like just being a really good take.
I'm just happy we all agree on something. Yay!
Oh yeah,
sound design.
absolutely. Sound design is a major plus on this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is a
Agreed on
first for
pickles?
us.
And it'll never happen
We
again.
agreed on stuff last time.
Did we?
No,
we
yeah.
didn't agree on
We did
pickles. We
not.
famously did
I
not
seem
agree
to
on pickles.
remember us all agreeing
No.
that pickles were good.
Disgusting.
We agreed to
because
send Alante
Only
pickles.
children don't
No,
like pickles.
no. We're never gonna let this go now.
I think we had
Thanks,
a
episode 1.
dissolution of the platonic idea of pickle, but I don't think we all agreed that cucumber pickles are good.
Yeah. Pickling. Fine in some cases.
As a genre of food, pickles are
disgusting.
Do we have any questions that we would ask the showrunner?
Oh, now that you guys brought it up, I wonder if he's. The showrunner, I believe, is it was Brian Martinez, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the writer, I believe.
He's the writer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here's my awful question. were there any women a part of this project at all? 'Cause I think it is all not in a really mean, accusatory, malicious way, but you know what I mean. Like that went above my head. You know, like it would have easily something like that might have been easily caught if they had, like, for example, a female voice actor on the team, right? And like,
or just like a proofreader. Yeah.
Proofreader.
Yeah.
There's always going to be stuff outside of your periphery, which is why they're, you know, having editors and different people involved is, you know, always a good idea. You know, because it's like, you guys didn't notice it, but then to me and Izzy, that was something that was distracting for us. And it kind of takes you out of the story, whereas we otherwise enjoyed the production. So, and again, I don't think there's anything like, I don't want to like make any moral judgments on the author or anything. I don't think this was like malicious or skeezy or anything. It just might have been something he wasn't entirely aware of when presenting these characters.
Yeah. And I would like to say, I mean that more as like, say somebody listening were to start a project, like kind of like, what pitfall would you avoid? So I guess the same thing would be, I would ask of them, is like, it's been going on for 6 years, 3 seasons. That means that they probably did the great job of taking a break, because that's impossible to do with audio dramas. So like, what pitfalls would they advise people to avoid? There.
Anybody else?
That's my question.
There you go.
There.
If no one else wants to jump in, mine is so again, the time frame of it. This is not a negative comment. It's gonna sound like it a little bit, but I know he's got books out. Just that seems to be his main thing, is actual written word. I'm curious if this is a passion project, a story, like, you know, the comeback to just, I want to finish this, or if it's just kind of like I guess I got to go back to the vessel again, like it, because it seems that long, like, you've got to have some, like, just buy into it, you know, as the creator. And I'm curious whether or not it's just kind of like, I really should finish this story, as a person who's also an author, you know, just leaving no story left undone.
Well, it sounds like there is, like, from the bits I heard, that a lot of thought has gone into the world building of this, because in episode 4, you guys didn't listen that far, but we get into the history of people going on the ship, and there's some mystery there as to, we don't know why they go on the ship, but we know that one of these characters who ends up becoming a captain of the ship went on as a little girl, and she was separated from her parents, and I think there was a mention of some kind of like outbreak. Her parents couldn't go; they weren't allowed to go with her on the ship. So we're building a mystery where we're not just in space with these characters and willy-nilly. Like there is a world outside of what we're seeing in each of these episodes, which I really appreciate that so much forethought has gone into it. I feel like, from my listening, the author has a very clear idea of what this world is, why we're here, and where it's going to go in the ultimate story that he wants to tell.
I to tack on a little bit to that, is like, in that same episode, we also learn about, like, the fact that they mine asteroids, and that's like an important scientific bit that, like, helps build the credibility of the world. So yeah, I also want to know that.
Like, my questions are more technical. I just want to know what, like, the recording setup is like, because, like, it's pretty good.
Sounds good.
I'm liking
Sounds
it.
good.
I'm liking what I'm hearing. Like, the low tones really come through. Like, is it a properly treated space? It kind of sounds like it. Anyway.
Well, the narrator for the first, they switched narrators at some point, I believe we saw, but the narrator for this first bit that we heard, I believe I read that he has been on Knife Point Horror, which is one of the best horror anthology podcasts in existence. They do not update very regularly, but when they do, they have, I think it's always been, from people who listen, a knockout every single time. The quality is sort of unmatched. So I would assume that this is a professional voice actor, probably somewhat if a professional home studio situation.
Because yeah, it definitely, like, it's very clean. Like, it's, because low voices particularly are, you know, there's certain recording setups that I think favor them specifically.
So for those of us who have not listened to all of the episodes that are out now, where do you think the story's going? Or where would you be excited to see the story go? What's a plot line you would like to see in this world? Just curious.
Oh God.
Is it The Expanse? Because that's what I'm thinking of.
I mean,
I need to look up a show real quick.
I'm gonna think about that for a second. I'm
oh well,
not
you guys,
tuning out. I'm thinking.
No,
Do that.
There was another show that was like about a generation ship.
because I am completely in the dark. There's the slow burn is slow burning. All I know is that a cockroach has mysteriously gone missing, and a guy is having a paranoid panic attack in a hallway. So I want to know where it's going. That's my question.
Yeah, my guess it would be that there is some sort of entity on the ship. I kind of hope that's not the direction it's going, just because I've already seen that quite a bit, where it's like there's something on the ship and it's slowly taking people out. So that my hope is
Maybe there's something on the ship and it's not bad.
direction. Then that would be.
There's two things on the ship. One's bad and one's good.
So.
Just
What a delight that would be. That there's just like a nice alien, like, oh, they left this cockroach on the floor? Filthy. I'll clean it up, don't worry.
Have you come to eat us? No, I've come to clean your ship.
I would love it if the whole thing is played like a horror podcast where you have like those ambient droning noises and like the musical stings and everything, and just like nice things are happening. Like the captain's like, oh, my paperwork's been shuffled around. And it's like, well, I organized it for you. It was a mess.
Sir, our pantry's been cleaned out. Yes, someone made a buffet. We don't know who or why.
It's delicious.
Oh man, this would be like the best like alien parody ever. It's like, something is amiss. Someone pressed my sheets.
There's something inside me. It's working through my colon. I can poop for the first time in days.
Oh no! Oh no! I don't know how I feel
You
about that.
made the alien reference. We had to go there.
So many feelings.
Absolutely. And it's
So
just,
I figured out the show. It's called Ascension. It was like a mini series. So it's like this generation ship. So I don't know why I brought that up, other than that, like, it's a generation ship and people are like, things are happening and we don't know exactly what's going on. And also there's a twist. I kind of feel like if there's this much of a slow burn, there's not going to be a twist. But also thinking about it, I'm surprised it's not super sci-fi yet. Like when we thinking back to the medical office, I would have expected, especially since it was created in 2019, kind of at the start of like the AI craze, that there would be more maybe AI related things,
like droids and holograms, and
Yeah.
like she took out the scanner and went beep 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 beep
yeah,
type situation.
Yeah, so it's not going super hard into like future sci-fi. It's kind of staying like semi modern.
See, I like that because that kind of tells me it's going to be more of a character driven story.
Yeah.
That the people are going to be what's important here rather than the set dressing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I love a slow burn. Anytime I read a review of a book that's like, took too long to get going, I'm like, oh, it's for me then. Fantastic.
Ooh.
So maybe then I guess I'm hoping for like a weird mutiny situation where like it's the people who are the problem. Like maybe even, I guess this is getting close to Alien in that like it's a third party, but maybe it's like a virus from cryostasis that is causing the psychosis and that's spreading. I don't know.
Clay's just like, well, I know.
I mean, like the best part, like, so of course sticking on weights and like, because if y'all want to keep listening, please do. But I love to, because like we're just touching on, or y'all are touching on so many of these plots, and it's great because they're great tropes. And I'm like, okay, so that's Alien, that's Pandorum, like. These stories have been done, and they will keep getting done because they're not bad stories. There's a reason we keep coming back to that well. And there's still so many branches that can come off from where we are right now in episode 3, just having wrapped up. And even if you go on, like I said, I'm up to date. And even then, I was like, there are things here. Huh. But obviously, I'm still listening, so I'm not sad about it.
Yeah, I mean,
of course, I may go back and do a full re-listen now and go like, okay, how many women were curvy? I'm actually curious because a straight guy entirely missed it.
There you go.
well, there you go. We've added value by giving you a reason to re-listen.
Now, if only I had the time.
Oh no. Good question.
Yeah.
I hope in our future episodes we do have a good in-depth conversation about cliches. Because now that you spark that, I'm like, we don't have enough time for this.
Yeah.
Because I will say my first thought is like, yeah, cliches aren't bad.
Especially in horror, when you're working with genre fiction to a degree, there are certain expectations your readers or listeners are going to have. And a lot of times those expectations are called tropes or cliches, when really it's setting up reader expectations. And I think with horror especially, you need to consent that you are listening or reading or ingesting horror media, because it could be, uncomfortable for you. It could be, you might not be in the right headspace for it. So I think tropes and cliches in a horror setting let you know that you're listening to horror, and that that, yes, I agree to continue listening to this. I agree that I want to be scared, I want to be made uncomfortable, I want to be disgusted. I want, I want those reactions to it. So yeah, I would say tropes and cliches, especially in genre fiction, are there to let you know what you're, reading, listening to, etc.
I would sort of add that, like, there is a difference between a trope and a cliche.
Exactly, yeah.
Because a trope is just sort of an element, like a grouping of similar themes that sort of aggregate around a sort of like element in stories, whereas cliche is a value judgment because it is something that is overused. So it's like, I would argue that, like, we have a lot of tropes, but like what counts as a cliche is very much a subjective situation for all of us. Like, if it's like, oh, I've seen the entity on a spaceship thing a bazillion times, that's going to be a cliche for you. But, it's like White Vault is essentially like the thing, but with more stuff kind of like added in to sort of make it a different thing. They have the same trope and like the same inspiration, but they've taken it into entirely different directions. So I feel like there's a lot of Alien on a Vessel that could have a lot of variability for me. But like, whether or not it is a cliche is like whether it is very narrowly sort of inside the same camp as like popular movies and fiction that are all kind of trying to capitalize on, say, Alien.
So whether it's a nice alien eating cockroaches or a bad alien stealing cockroaches.
We should have a special bonus episode where we talk
I
about
would say those are very different
cliches that we
tropes.
love in horror. Or hate horror.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes. You're just gonna have to keep listening.
Teasing us.
Okay. Anything else on the vessel?
Would you recommend it?
Final thoughts?
I would say, yeah.
Yeah. You go first.
I think if you're into science fiction, if you're into especially sort of closed bottle situations on a spaceship, with lots of different characters, great sound design, then you're probably going to enjoy it. Yeah.
I'm not quite sure if I like it or not, but I want to continue listening till the end of the season to make up my mind. So at least it gets that far for me. Yeah.
I'd say episode 3, I still have no idea what the heck is going on. So if you are one of those people whose entire praxis is I listen to the first 3 episodes and then make a decision, maybe like give it the first 5.
That's pretty much my thought. And what we talked about, like the slow burn, if you can't handle just a snail crawl, pass this one up. If you can deal with that, this is one of the few ones where they always say, best headphones are recommended. Put on some headphones, lay in a dark place, listen to this.
Perfect.
Have fun.
All right.
Like, yeah.
Well,
easy
that
recommended.
wraps up today's discussion. Thanks for listening to this episode of Hear It in Horror Podcast. We hope you'll give these episodes a listen and tell us what you think. Or if you have a horror podcast you think we should review, we would love to hear that. You can find a link to listen to The Vessel in the show notes. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye.
Until next time, don't die.
Ashley here, reminding you to check us out on Patreon, where you can get early access to episodes and, when you join, are automatically invited to all the recording sessions. Follow us on Instagram at Hear It in Horror Podcast for all the updates. Hear It in Horror Podcast is brought to you by Dabbed in Ink. Here, adventure.